Neck hurts. Okay, so just to bring you up to date, Paul, a couple of things I have done is I have brought some reference books. I don't know if they're of any interest to you, but this is the Corgi Toys by Dr. Edward Force. And if, like me, and I'm pretty sure that you follow Paul Restorer as well, he does the original catalogues. This one pretty much contains all of them. So that's the Corgi Toys one. Then I've also got the Dinky Toys version. They're from Loucifer book for collectors, and these two are both by Dr. Edward Force. And again, it's a price guide and the full range of Dinky Toys in this case. And then finally, what I picked up, these are all from Amazon, by the way, mate. The Encyclopedia of Matchbox Toys. So this is a full-fledged, full-sized reference book, and I've pretty much found every model that I've worked on in one of these three books. So save going on to eBay and buying individual catalogues, not calendars. Where's my head at? What I've also done, I think you'll have seen, Paul, is I've updated the build calendar as was suggested by Evan. Yeah. They were good. They're good reference guides that he puts up. You know, it takes a lot of patience to sit there and turn the bloody pages and you know, get a good screenshot of each one. But I thought, I think you can get them on a CD as well from eBay. You can get a bunch of them together on one CD. But I like something, perhaps I'm a bit old school. I just like something, something to hand, something I can touch, feel, you know, and you get a good indication of the colours on the vehicles as well. So yeah, I've updated the yeah, I agree, mate, makes sense to all be on the same song sheet at month's end. I'll have to do a video to update my update and then bang one up on the Beefeaters website. I might just trim it down to the Beefeaters dates on that one. So that's that. I have been, I think I showed you already, I have been progressing with your challenge. So that was that one. The one that I've got coming up before your challenge is the Friends and Family vehicle. So these two were chosen by my granddaughter, so that's a Midlife Models The Challenge episode. And although I couldn't find a boring British Leyland vehicle, the ones that I could find on eBay, I think they were more pricey than actually buying an original British Leyland vehicle. Things like the Princess, the Ambassador, the Allegro, the Marina, the actual diecast models are fetching some serious prices. But I did manage to get a Jaguar XJ6. And this is a Matchbox Super Kings, so I'll be restoring that, mate, so I forgot about that. Another one that we've got penciled in, I can't remember which channel, I think it's on the MLM challenge, sorry, on the MLM channel, and the challenge is a Jerry Anderson vehicle. I've got two to choose from. One is the Maximum Patrol vehicle, and the other one that I haven't got to hand is the Interceptor. That you're probably familiar with. You know, it's from the UFO TV series, The Interceptor. But Martin Dare, our friend Martin, recently found a metallic jade colour that looks as though it might be spot on for doing the Interceptor. So I'm a bit 6 and 7s which one to use first. Well, which one to do in the build. What I like about them is, well, what I like about dinky toys in general is there's parts that move. It's not just doors and a boot. There's stuff you can do with them, whether it's, you know, fire missiles, whether there's flames coming out, fake flames coming out the back of a Batmobile or stuff like that. The more you want to play with them more. Even as a kid, I wanted to play with them more. This was the standard size kind of vehicle I had as a kid. So that's that. I've got a choice to make for the Jerry Anderson one. But as you know, even if you do something like the Batmobile, it costs you a bob or two to get parts for them. Thunderbird 2, yeah. As you pointed out to me when we talked about the James Bond car, there's that many different variations. The DB, there's that many different variations. I ordered 2, thought I'd ordered the same thing, and they were completely different sizes. I thought one was just gold and one was silver. No, it was they were completely different sizes. So I never managed to get one that wanted fixing up and a supply model, if you like, for spares. And it's the same with the Batmobile. I've now got 3. I had a torsion spring. I think you know Lee Jackson, Paul. Diecast Fixer Uppers. He sent me a Batman package, if you like, and in there was a Batmobile, and I disassembled it live on screen, and in there was the torsion spring for the blade cutter on the front. That was the only mechanical part I was missing, so I can excuse me, so now I can complete mine to a stage, and then that leaves me with the Robin figure, the 4 missiles, and the bat decals, sorry. I did get the orange. Let me just grab it and I'll show it to you. You're aware of the liquid chrome Molotow pen. I did get the all-in-one orange one that Bob Willis advertised when he did his Batmobile. Oh, I didn't know there was one with a revolving number plate. I think mine are pretty much... I've got the gold one and one of the silver versions, and they just do the bog standard shooting, the plate coming up, and the machine guns coming out the front. I think that's the one that I've got. I haven't got one to hand. Yeah, they're in the collection somewhere. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yes, we are locked on portrait mode. But this this live streaming that I've set up, it's I'm using an iPhone, and it's not a brand new one by any stretch of the imagination. and a piece of software called Prism, and it's a way of getting round the YouTube restrictions on how many subscribers you've got before you're allowed to live stream. So this is working pretty well, and the feedback I've had from a couple of other guys is that the quality of the video doesn't look too bad either, and the sound seems okay. There is a 3 or 4 second delay of me talking to what's appearing on the screen. I'm watching myself on my PC and I can see the delay. There's definitely 2 or 3 seconds, but I think that's the norm, to be fair. I've seen people, there's a guy I follow, a guy called Pete, who's a Derby County supporter, and he does a fans stream, if you like, live streaming, and he has to play catch up. You're waiting for him to play catch up to answer your question because he's 30 or 40 seconds behind. It's worth having a go, mate, to be honest. Like I say, if you can pick up you can pay, hundreds of pounds for cameras and God knows what, but everything I do is on an iPhone. Yes, I've got a clamp to hold it overhead when I'm shooting down, and I've also got this trigger for putting the iPhone in. If you've watched any of the videos where I've been doing the paint stripping in the caustic jar, I put it on in this, and then on the side of the sink, and it's got a ball joint. But what I do is to put a bit of weight on this back edge just to stop the camera from tipping over. But I've got some more kit coming tomorrow, and what I might do is a live stream of my setup and what I've got going on. I've seen that Brio Moss. I've got my PC is an HP all-in-one, which I regret now, and the webcam's gone on it, and that's my own fault. I used to vape, and still did up until the end of last year, and the vape has clouded the webcam, and I can't get to the back of the screen. I've had it to pieces, and I can't clean it up, so it's either a choice of using the iPhone, or buying a webcam, and it's just because I've got the iPhone, it just makes sense to use that at the minute. Yeah, I've got one of my other hobbies, Paul, is I go fishing a lot, obviously when the weather's better, because I'm a fair weather fisherman, and I've got the it's not the GoPro, it's a version of a GoPro. It's like the next model down, and I've got a headband and the chest plate and all the stuff for it, and you can use this trigger mount as well. I've got that. I'll have to do like a tech special or something like that, of stuff I've got. I can't argue with that, Moss. I don't know what the 12 is like, but my experience has been that I've always used my iPhone. I work for a company, and I work in the IT department. Sorry, the company that I work for in the IT department, and we sometimes sell off our old kit, and I was able to pick up my iPhone from what was being sold off, really. And then I've got a newer one, so I can effectively have 2 shots set up with 2 iPhones. Yeah, I've seen the I think who was it who did it? It was one of our fellow restorers who went out on his bike with a GoPro. Crap Old Nick did it. He's done a couple of episodes where he's been out on his bike, and Peregrine Fortescue Smythe, who has done a mix of diecast models and plastic kits. He's also done a couple of bike rides using the GoPro and incorporated them into his video. Yeah, I've seen a couple of the smaller ones. I didn't know about Odge's, Paul. Straight to where it was. Nothing like a bit of good advertising. I'm just trying to think what the one is I've got. It's not a GoPro, but it's bloody good. If I can find it. Alternative. It's not gone. It's not a Casso. It's not the Y. It's not the FDR. See Garmin coming up a lot, and it's not a Garmin. 4K. In fact, just bear me a sec, and I'll get it. Sorry, how unprofessional was that? Yeah, it's the Osmo Action is the one that I've got, and I've had to play about with this and really enjoyed using it. And I can put this on an ebb strap if I go fishing. I can put it on the trigger mount, and this takes some really good video. But I think it cuts off possibly after 4 minutes, so it chops it up. Andrew, greetings, welcome, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. It's just a bit of a test, bit of fun, mate. No set procedure. We're just testing to see if we can get this live streaming working. So welcome along, and as I say, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so that's my alternative to the GoPro. But what I'd like to do, Paul, is at some point is to have like the four-way conversation, you know, so we could get the beef eaters all online at the same time. That'd be really cool. But there's a bit of investment required there, I think. And if you go for something like Zoom, then you've got to start paying some money out, like, and most of us want to do this kind of stuff because it's a cheap hobby. But I'll look into it, mate, and if I can get it working, it'd be really good. One of my thoughts was to have a monthly magazine where you could invite another restorer onto a live stream, and the participants could ask that restorer a bunch of questions. It'd be really cool. Yeah, define cheap. Well, as you know, if you do something like the Batmobile, it ain't going to be cheap. I brought that second-hand USS Enterprise, and by the time I got parts, paints, replacement pieces, what have you, it was about 40 quid. So yeah, that was the reason. One of the reasons, Paul, that I went on to using rattle cans. I did start off with a airbrush, and I'm a complete novice with an airbrush. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some of the weathering techniques that you do, mate, and they're really good. But I can't seem to. Not that I can't get on with it. I can't get the mixing right. So anyway, and then I found out how much it was going to cost me in paints to do some of these models, and I thought, bugger it. I'm just going to get some I took the Bob Willis approach and went down the I-coat route. I've just actually brought the box in. I don't know where to put it. Somewhere behind me. You have to excuse me, the house is upside down while we're doing decorating. But the I-coat range I found to be really good, especially if you're using something like British Racing Green, or the red that I used for the Captain Scarlet pursuit vehicle. A couple of them were suggested by Martin Dare. I let Martin do the investigative work, and then I'll obviously copy what he's done. So he'll come up with some cracking colours. So yeah, I've been using the I-coat, and of course you can get more out of an I-coat rattle can than you can from one of these little piddling pots of paint. I like using the Tamiya Fine Line Grey primer, but when you start buying the paints, you're just getting through so many, and yet you can buy a rattle can and do, I don't know, 4 or 5 models. So that's why I moved over to the rattle cans. So I'm gonna throw this out there as a question. I did a 40 questions thing not long ago as an episode, and I'm interested, as a novice restorer, what people couldn't live without as a tool, if you like. I started off with a pretty basic kit. I was following people like Marty and Bob Willis, and then I've met up with some of my colleagues some of my friends from over the UK. We formed the Beefeaters, etc. Got to know these guys like Paul and George and Juan and Martin really well, and I found out that you need to make some investment in some kit. You can start off and do some really budget cars, but I was never satisfied, and then it wasn't until I started to spend, I don't know, probably a couple of £100 that I'd got a decent amount of kit to come out with an half decent end product, if that makes sense. Because I always like mine to be as good as I can get them. I'm not saying I'm professional, no, any stretch of the imagination. Some of the stuff I've seen some of these other guys do, or some of you guys do, is outstanding. It's brilliant. It's amazing. But the one tool that I can't live without is the Dremel. This is the Dremel Micro, and it's the 8050, and I got this off eBay, and this just goes everywhere I go. Love it to pieces. And you can get all the attachments, obviously. I did see Matchbox Garage, Rob, he was using one of these, and previously he was using a different version, and I nearly brought that, so I'm glad I held off and got this one. I couldn't be without this. So yeah, Paul's saying it'd have to be my pen, spirit level and screwdrivers, multi-pen. That pen, it was funny that I saw that pen that you got, Paul, and I thought to myself, I recognise that. And if you just bear with me a moment, I think it's that. With the detachable end that's got a pen on there. And obviously, and of course, I could never grab hold of this. You'll have to take my word for it, Paul, but I could never grab hold of that screwdriver part to swap it round to the posi. But yeah, it's got a spirit level, a ruler, and I got this as part of a. That's the yeah. It's like Dremel's first go at making a tool. I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes in the office we have book companies come round and drop books in the reception on a monthly basis, and they have gadgets and gizmos in there, and that came as part of a monthly book club collection. So that's where I got it from. Oh, cheers, by the way. Just Saturday. CLB. So I'm interested, Andrew. What is your most treasured tool? Let's excuse the expression. What is it that you couldn't live without, knowing what you know now, as from when you started? Colour library books. Yeah, it's probably something like that, Paul. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. They're a local. I imagine they're all over the country, but it's just a branch of that company, I imagine. You get kids' toys and colouring books and some good reference books. To be fair, a lot of the DK reference books. I did notice something about Peregrine Moz, where he managed to take his models into work and get his paint stripping done there. I like to watch although I like to watch restorers, I do like to watch different types. There's like I think it's Rescue and Restore, who does the Tonka toys, and even Paul Restorer. They look like they are engineers because they've got a workshop. You know, they've got a spray booth, they've got a stripping booth, they've got ovens and lathes and all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky, Paul, that, and I'm grateful that I've been able to ask you in the past, along with Martin, what the colour of something might be, or what is this model. I think the one that you helped me on was the Britain Cannon. I had it as a kid, the one that fires matchsticks. I ended up getting 2 of them at a really decent price. Yeah, yeah. I saw your the questions that you did after I did them, and listed out the jobs that you'd done, and I thought that's amazing. And I think the artwork that you're doing is crack on, mate. It's spot on. I'm looking forward to the time when we can all get out and we can go to a meet-up or and do something where we can all get together. Because a lot of you guys are north. There's only, I think, Martin that's south of where I am, and most of you guys, including George and Juan, are up north. Yeah, and I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that advice, mate. It's that's what I like about this community. If you've got a question, you throw it out there, and somebody will chip in and point you in the right direction. Rotherham, yeah, Lee's up your way as well, Lee Jackson. I think George is South Wales. I get a feeling. I know he's a Scouser, but I think he's in South Wales. Yeah, they lost. I'm a bit of a. You may have noticed from some of the stuff I've done in the past. I'm a big comic book fan as well, and we went up to Manchester We went up to the comic convention at Manchester. They have some cracking conventions up there. It's either Birmingham, Manchester, or Wrexham. The Wrexham University did a good convention as well. If you're a bit of a comic book fan, so my daughter has, and I want to say thank you again. You can never say thank you enough to you, Paul, for donating to Louise's cause. She, I'll digress slightly, but she worked as a scare actress at Alton Towers, and obviously Alton Towers got shut down, and she ended up working at Stoke Hospital as a cleaner, and that's where she picked up on all the mental health and stress and what's involved in that environment. And I'm not entirely sure whether it was safer going from Stoke Hospital back to Alton Towers, because both of them were very open arena, if that's the right phrase, or the public are very close together, whether it's in an hospital or one of these attractions. That's brilliant, Andrew. I'd love to have a go at, if I could afford it. Maybe next year or later on this year, having a go with a 3D printer. Either I've plugged in the wrong thing, or I haven't got it plugged in at all. It's alright, I haven't got my phone on charge. It would have gone dead in no time. So Tenza was Mrs. Brown. Well, let me know if you have another one, mate. Well, as and when, obviously. It sucks, this situation that we're going through now. And the sooner that we can get this vaccination around everybody, the sooner it'll be better for everybody. I think the solitude of being stuck indoors and working from home, as much as I love it, working from home, you don't get out, and it affects your health anyway, because you're not doing the natural things you do on a day-to-day basis. So that drives me nuts a bit. We used to go and see my daughter. She lives in Leek now. We used to go and see her every couple of weeks, and it's been 4 or 5 months between visits, and that's not been good. Going back to what Andrew was saying, I'd love to have a go with a 3D printer, really would. But I'm also, it'd be interesting, Andrew, to compare a 3D print of, let's say, the Safari luggage rack, if you know what I mean, the Land Rover luggage rack. I made one out of timber and old parts and what have you. I'd be interested to see a comparison between that and one that's moulded like Paul Restorer does, where he uses the blue and pink restoring material, if you know what I'm talking about. I'd like to see a comparison between a 3D print and a moulded print. Yeah, agreed, Paul. I don't know where the one is that Bob goes to, Bob Willis, but I think he's down Bristol way. Yeah, Lou went to one as Harley Quinn, and we made it's upstairs, but we made the big hammer out of 2 plant pots that we put back to back, and a broom handle, and then decorated it and sealed it all. She's walking around with a 5-foot bloody hammer the size of nearly as big as she is. I think that's where my love of model making whether it be, you know, doing something like restorations or making bottles for the grandkids, you know, or anything like that. I love doing stuff like that. What I can't figure out, Paul, is whether it'd save us if 2 or 3 of us within the team made tyres. You know, you could use gasket, you know, small plastic, small rubber washers. But I don't know how much to save us on moulding tyres as opposed to buying a bag of 50, if you know what I mean, off eBay. Because even the moulding stuff, the materials, that ain't cheap. But I'd just like to have a go at it. Things like them, things like the Safari, the Land Rover Safari luggage rack. You know, these are one-offs, and if you could retain the mould, and you can make 2 or 3 of them. I know you can't legally sell them, but they'd be worth having to hand. You know, that you could, well, I've made one, and then one of the team or one of our friends is short, so you could get one made. I'd love to be able to do that. I'd be interested to see, Andrew, if you do an episode of a 3D printer special, what you've been able to you know, manufacture. It'd be interesting to see that. That'd be great. Toothpicks. Can't beat having the toothpicks. Yeah. One of the things I picked up, I think it was Martin that pointed me in the right direction. This isn't the correct one, but using one of these Helix templates to get the wheels, to get tyre sizes, was really useful. That was a good find. Righto, buddy, no worries. I'm just going to let know people on Facebook know that we are live. So this is something I'm not a professional presenter by any stretch of the imagination. This was a bit of fun. Can we do it, or can I put a setup together that enables me to do it? Where there's a bit of a question and answer session. What I might do is either do this as a monthly magazine, or we could set up a scenario where people could submit questions, and if we could get the Beefeater team in the chat, we could post some questions to the Beefeater team. That'd be good. If we can't get them as a you know, on a live video stream. So I'm interested, Andrew. What's your current project? We've got a calendar of events up that you may have seen. The other thing we can do, Paul, is we can do if you can get a phone that you can get video messenger on. We can always do a Facebook chat. I was talking to I was talking to Lee Jackson, and we had a half an hour on Facebook Messenger, and it was great just to touch base, shoot the breeze, chat about the hobby. A good guy, Lee is. I think you know Lee anyway. He'd become a good friend of mine, Lee has. But then again, so is everybody. So it's not a community where people join just to, hit on you, or shit on you, shall I say. You tend to find that they're good folks, and people will even offer to send you parts or packages or goodness knows what. I'm on about my 5th or 6th whiskey and coke, by the way, so if I start to slur, you'll know why. So you may correct me if I'm wrong, Paul. This XJ6, is this the only one that's under the British Leyland brand? I'm not sure. Here's my friend Lee. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. Just get one, mate, and stick it in a bracket and leave it in your office or in your front room or whatever. Just glue it to a bracket so you can't take it out. I don't know if I'm doing you any favours, Paul, but my light sucks. But it looks like it's the chrome pen effect headlights. They're not jewelled headlights. And there's the butt end. The corner ones look like the XJS, if I remember that rightly. They're the plastic indicator lights. Yeah. So the front end look like they're painted on. The back end's got plastic indicators. There's a couple of it looks like they're supposed to be on the boot. There's a couple of lights on the boot, but they're moulded onto the frame. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one yet, mate. Don't know what I'm going to do. I do like the colour of the wheels. I know they're black, but it's that it's almost like that granite black. Just picking up on what Andrew's saying about the Sicko snowplow to be uploaded tomorrow. I thought Sicko wasn't a producer of diecast vehicles I was familiar with until I'd seen some of the other restorers doing Sickos. It was same with Majorette. I wasn't overly familiar with Majorette, although Majorettes have become one of my favourite vehicles to restore because the chassis is brilliant. The spring mounted chassis, it's just a piece of wire that holds the axles in place, and it's brilliant. They're brilliant to work on. But I thought Sicko had stopped manufacturing. Now over here we have got a garden centre called Dobby's, almost like Harry Potter Dobby. It's down the A38 near Cannock. It's called Dobby's Garden Centre, and I took the wife and the grandkids there, and with some of these major garden centres, they do arts and crafts and all that kind of thing. And they had a pedestal with cars on it, and it was all Siku, brand new vehicles, and they were all farm and industrial vehicles. So I didn't know whether they were still a live brand or not. Yeah, I didn't know, Paul, until I saw them. So is the snowplow, Andrew, is that a complete vehicle, or is it an attachment that goes onto a vehicle? Yeah, as I say, Paul, the only place I saw them was in this garden centre, and they weren't cheap either. They were pricey. About, I don't know, anything between 15 and 20 quid as a small size vehicle, like something like a Matchbox Super King size. Well, I will say, Paul, Lee, I did watch Dano's latest episode, his Land Rover episode, and he did, as you say, give us a shout out. So that's much appreciated. Thanks for that, mate. It does make me laugh. It does make me laugh. Give us a honk. Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, yeah. It's like anything. You pay for what you get. Really, you pay for the quality. Top man. Bit of general support for each other. Can't go wrong. So was you happy with the calendar, Paul? How we readjusted the dates. What was happening for the sake of Andrew and Lee is that we were making the dates between the Beef Eaters, the Three Blind Mice, and my own midlife models channels a little bit too close together, and we're getting some crossover. And it wasn't giving people a chance to do their own stuff as well. Here's my precious. My only issue was that what you sorted it not looked, but if we both run month ends, it's all good. Yeah, this should be month ends now, mate. Fantastic. Seeing my daughter in the chat makes me proud. Well done, Presh. You'll know Paul from Pimp My Diecast, obviously. No worries, Andrew. I don't know whether you can do subtitles in live chat. And if you do, I imagine they would only apply after the event, really. Okay, a Unimog complete snowplow truck. I'll look that one up. I'm maiden on this year, Lou. Chuck from Flying Valiants here. Fantastic. Hi mate, good to see you. Happy New Year. We're just doing a bit of a fun test run on live streaming. And it looks like it looks like it's going pretty well. So what I was saying, guys, to the guys who do restores is, I was hoping at some point to do like a monthly magazine that I could encourage or ask as a favour, if you like, some of my restorer friends to join a live chat and be open to answering some questions that we could gather from other restorers to get advice, almost like a monthly magazine type scenario. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate the feedback. Do an Halloween edition. Ooh, I don't know whether have we got anything planned for Halloween, Paul? I'm trying to encourage Lee as much as dragging him kicking and screaming back into the hobby. Halloween. Oh, that could be something like doing the Ghostbusters vehicle. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely. I just think it's a way of paying it forward. If you can offer something back to the community, if people are good enough to subscribe and follow you, if you can pay something back with a hint or a tip that saves somebody a bucket load of money, so be it. Cars themed around classic monsters. I think we can work something in there. I don't think we've got room in the B-feet. Let's have a look, see what we've got for October. October, November, December. So October, we've got the crappy 70s cars, Paul. Depends how happy people are to get 2 builds done in 1 month. I'll have a go at it. I don't mind. I might squeeze an Halloween special in there. That's fair enough. But I think what we could do is we could do an Halloween build and submit it to Diecast Graveyard, I guess. I've seen some of I've watched a lot of your builds, Chuck, and they're very involved. Impressed with the stuff that you do, mate. Really am. And I'm grateful that you take the time to drop by the MLM Facebook page and drop in on our builds. Oktoberfest with German cars. You have to get a tankard, mate. We're going to have to get a big beer tankard. You're welcome, Chuck. And cheers, mate. All the best. Yeah, do it. Cars themed around classic monsters like the good old days when I was to help. I'd love to, not sure if over the time. Yeah. I think we're pretty much caught up. Okay, so let me know if you're just do a beer barrel with wheels. That's what we did at Alton Towers. Well, I've seen a Cabra's egg on wheels. It won't be the first time. We could do that. I can find a barrel. I'm sure there's a die-cast barrel somewhere. Okay, so that's cool. If you're interested in me coming on and rambling for, how long has it been? Oh, about an hour. Let me know. And if I'm so grateful that you guys have dropped by and chipped in. It makes it worth. Well, it's not the effort really. It's good stuff. I enjoy doing these. And I'll put a plan together and we'll do one of these once a month, I think. Because it's just a case of chiming in, really. You don't have to do any video preparation. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate it. Thanks, Lee. As always, mate. Thanks for your support. Love you loads, Presh. Take care. Thanks for popping by. So a beer and some worse. What's the worst that could happen? Knowing us, a really bad build as the next challenge. And I want to say cheers to Moss and cheers to Andrew. Thank you both for stopping by as well. Paul, as always, got my back. Appreciate it, buddy. You know where I am if you need me. And that's me. PJ signing off. And I'll see you soon, guys. You can always catch me on the Midlife Models Facebook page. If you're not subscribed, please drop by. And I'll see you soon. Cheers.